Welcome back to another episode of the Small Town RP. Now, as you can clearly tell, we are starting off this time in our recently upgraded F-150. We went for a taller and wider set of tires, a much higher suspension height, and we've also, between the last episode and now, we actually found someone that was selling a F-150 bed cap, sort of just like, secondhand. It's not paint matched. It was literally like, sitting behind their house, and I was like, okay, well, I'll take it, because they were selling it for really, really cheap, and it's actually really good that we picked that up, because we were able to throw all of our tools in the back to help handle what we have on the list to do today. Now, way out by the ATV park, across the bridge, there's someone kind of stuck out there by the scenic overlook, but they're not stuck in terms of a terrain sense, in terms of like a mud sense. They're stuck in terms of, well, a mechanical sense. Apparently, their truck is broken, and it's also like, apparently it's not getting fuel, but it's also like it won't turn over, it won't start. Apparently there's a bunch of issues with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a bunch of tools in the back of this truck, and we're also going to hook up to our equipment trailer that currently has our portable diesel pumps on it, which is going to be perfect for this because the truck that we need to rescue is a diesel powered rig. It's a Ram 3500. So let's go ahead and hook these up, and we'll go ahead and make sure they're packed so they don't move around all over the place while we're on our way out there. So let's just make sure we don't tag any of our trucks on the way out. We brushed up against the tire on the Power Wagon a little bit. We'll probably do the same on the Denali. Excuse me. All right, come on. Come on. Easy. Easy. Job number one is get out of your driveway unscathed. All right, we're good. Now, making our way on out to where this truck is stranded. It's at the jumping rock, and the jumping rock is essentially a overlook slash, well, ramp if you're, an absolute maniac. You can treat it like a ramp if you want to, although I can't promise you that you'll be driving back up the other side. By the way, I really hope these people are enjoying that trail that we built them in their backyard. I hope it's still holding up really well. We may end up having to stop by at some point to kind of maintain it slash fix it up, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Now, this thing does tow a lot better with this suspension setup. I mean, it tows genuinely a measurable amount better. All we did was we changed the suspension height, we threw the taller and wider tires on it, and of course, this particular suspension is tuned a lot better for towing, even though it's higher. The rear suspension in particular has been beefed up to help handle the extra weight. Now, we are on the standard engine and transmission still, but as you can see, for hauling stuff like this, it has absolutely no issue whatsoever. And even on a towing focused suspension, this still soaks up all the bumps with really no issue at all. And oh my god, that CB antenna is absolutely just flopping all over the place. Although I am glad we had the opportunity to add it though. Now, I'm really hoping we don't, shake these barrels up too much on the way down here, but I don't know. I mean, we should be all right still. I'm not really too worried about it. Really foggy morning down here by the river. I'm glad we were able to get out on these trails before it got a little bit later into the day, because what time is it right now? It's like, what, 7:40 in the morning? Yeah, it's long before most of the traffic is going to be getting down here, so that's good. I mean, the fact that we're able to get down here before the traffic gets down here is definitely going to work in our favor. All right, so let's go ahead and get over the bridge, and we'll head up the road on the other side. Now, we should be getting fairly close to where this Ram is stranded at, because like I said before, it was apparently right at the parking lot for that rock overlook. Now, the rock overlook, I mean, it's kind of essentially just one massive parking lot right up to the edge. You literally just park and you walk up to the edge and you look at the view and you go, wow, and then you go home again. But other than that, I mean, it's not really all that tough of a terrain to get there. I mean, or the terrain to get there is not all that rough. I don't know why I kind of walked all over those words. Happens sometimes. Happens to the best of us, I suppose. But it's a little bit rutted out. It's no main road, but it's also no rock crawling trail. So I don't think, I know the truck's not going to have any issues. I'm a little worried about the I'm a little worried about the trailer, but it's not gonna be all that bad. Or at least I don't think it'll be all that bad. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for the best anyway. So long as we can cruise these sections in high and then do the road up to the overlook in low, I think we'll be fine. Although, well, you never know, especially with these missions and with this area. All right, so this is the ATV park, and the mud pit is right up there. The ATV garage is right there. The overlook is down this way, and here's where things get interesting, because I don't know if that trailer's gonna be too happy with these ruts, because these ruts are deep. I mean, they are properly deep, and they're really off camber as well, and I really don't want to lose those fuel barrels because we, you know, got the trailer at too gnarly of an angle. And granted, they're also not just barrels, they're essentially fuel pumps. They're caged in fuel pumps, or really barrels with a pump in the barrel and a fuel hose, if I'm actually completely getting that right. Oh, it looks like that's them. They've got their hood up too. Oh, they must really be stranded. It looks like they tried to fix it themselves, but they probably didn't have enough tools to even, like, remotely start diagnosing the issue. So let's pull on up and see what they've got going on. Holy crap. Alright, so let's pull on up. Hey! How long have you been out here? Since yesterday afternoon? You've been trying to fix it yourself? Well, okay, so you got a little bit of a ways into it, and then you realized you didn't, you know, have enough tools? Yeah, completely get that. Alright, let's see what's going on with this thing, because it looks like there could be a whole number of things. Well, for one, it looks like this thing has a busted fuel line underneath it, and I don't know if they bumped it on something, or if it was an aftermarket line to an aftermarket pump and it came loose. Either way, this thing has essentially no fuel in it now, so that would explain why they couldn't get it to start, but not even getting it to crank is a different story. Now, I checked a decent amount of things under the hood, although one thing that we do need to make sure that we check is the batteries, because there's two of them in these trucks, and it looks like, how are they fried? Well, that's gonna be fun. All right, so essentially, what we need to do is we've got the gear that we need. We've got the tools that we need in order to repair the fuel line connection. We've got at least the tools for that in the back of this thing. We don't have the line, but we will need to run back to town to get the batteries as well. So we need to get a line, and we need to get batteries, and then we should be able to come back and get this thing back moving again. I called ahead, I told him what I needed. We're gonna head back to town, we're gonna pick up the parts, and then should be on our way back with no issues. I did leave the fuel pump trailer down there because I've got somebody watching it, so don't worry about it. I didn't leave it there completely by itself. I wouldn't do that. So again, it is protected, so we're not gonna need to worry about that while we're gone. Well, we got everything picked up, we're on our way back, and a little bit of time has gone by, but thankfully it did stop raining, so we should be able to get back up there. That was a really, really, really sweet slide around that hairpin corner. Let's see if we can do that again. Try not to, oh geez, that was not as good. I'm trying not to throw all these parts around in the back of the truck, you know, as you can imagine, I'm sure. Now, this thing is such a blast to drive when that trailer isn't hooked up to it. Although, I don't really get to drive it without a trailer all that much, but look at this. This thing is amazing. It's a little pre-runner. At least it is without the trailer. Yo, this thing is so much fun to drive. Again, I gotta make sure I don't throw those batteries around. The fuel line and the fittings, it's not really a big deal, but the batteries, I'd rather not, like, throw them all over the place, you know? I'd rather they not explode before we get there. All right. Bring it around. We should be, I mean, really, at this point, it should be no big deal. No big deal at all. Just get everything in, and after a little while, we'll just make sure it starts up for them, and then they can be on their way. Okay, good, our trailer's still there. Because we left it there for a few hours. But then again, I mean, we had somebody watching it, like I said before, so it's not a big deal. It's not like we left it completely unattended. All right, rolling out. Or rather, rolling up. We're almost there. And pulling up. All right. We got your fuel line, we got your batteries, and we should be good to go. Now, let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in the back, we're going to grab everything, then we're going to walk on over here. We're going to do the work under the truck first, get everything all hooked up. I believe on these trucks, it would, like, everything for the fuel would run along this side of the frame rail. I mean, which technically would make sense because the fuel tank is right here. And then it would obviously run up into the engine bay. Now we just got to pop the hood and get those batteries in. All right, we got one in and we got the other. They're connected. They're all good to go. And now, before we even think about closing the hood, we need to hop in and make sure that this thing actually starts. So, I'm hoping that it starts. I mean, I know that we're going to probably have to try a couple of times to get it to start. Obviously, because we got to reprime everything. But let's try. We'll try a couple of times. First try. It almost fired. Well, it technically did fire, but it kind of shut right off after that. Let's try again. Not that time. One more. Oh, maybe one last one? There it is. Yep. It's all good. Completely good to go. All right. Let's go ahead and hop out and shut the hood real quick. And it looks like this thing is running again. It should be ready to head on back to town. We will make sure that it has all the fuel it needs, but that should be a job done. Now, I will say we're going to charge them a decent amount for this because this was not only a wilderness response, but it was also like multiple repairs. But you know what? I think it was worth it because their truck is running again and they can get it back home. So let's hook back up to the fuel trailer and finish everything up with this thing and then get back on home. And just like that, we're on our way back out again. Honestly, in terms of like an actual wilderness repair working out, that worked out pretty well. It could have gone it could have gone better in a couple of senses, but in a lot of other senses, it could have been a whole heck of a lot worse. Like, way worse. So, let me know, as usual, in the comments down below, what y'all thought of this wilderness repair episode of the Small Town RP. And as always, if you are enjoying the Small Town RP, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Leave your love there on the like button. And if you want to see more episodes like this, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I'll see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later, and I'm gonna go on and head back home.